sound of the drum, it's believed to transmit a message up to God. My name is Randy Rosso. I was initiated as a child of Añá by my godfather in the drums. His name is Orlando Puntilla Rios Ibaeo, may he rest in peace. And that was back in 1991. But Bata drums, really, they originated in Nigeria or in Africa. That is part of the Santeria tradition, or Lukumi. Again, that's tradition that we here in the United States, we basically got it from Cuba. The Bata drums that we know today, they've been filtered through hundreds of years of colonialism, slavery, capitalism, and dare I say, even socialism in the past 60 years. The belief system is before we're born, we chose a path. Now, when we deviate from that path, then we want to come back to the path to mitigate, whatever negativity is happening. If we're doing really, really well, we also want to give thanks for all the good things that we have in order to assist you in getting you back in balance with your path in life. A certain deity, and let's say Elegba, would like a drumming ceremony, for people to come in and celebrate, okay? At that point, the consultation will say, hey, we want some drums and we want those drums to be sacred. When you go to a drumming, it begins with what is called an oro seco, a tribute to the deities, all the deities, and there are like 22 rhythms. Now, those rhythms may be a little more diverse, right? And then they can take different paths depending on the songs, and that's what Steve and I are going to study. There's always going to be a third drummer, but this is an example of how maybe two people, get together and, over some coffee or tea and learn how to play drums, how we would discuss things and exchange ideas, okay? Each drum has a larger head and a smaller head, as you can see. The smaller head on each drum is basically going to be struck the same way. However, in matanzas, they strike it a little differently. They get like a little bell sound with a finger. But the way we learn it, most of us, 95% of us here in the States, we learn the one sound that's always going to be on the small head is a slap, a whip. That's for the small drum. That's for this drum, the middle drum, and the big drum, the tija.
When I heard Bata drums, I completely fell in love with the sound. And in 1980, there was an influx of Cuban immigrants, some of whom were masters of the instrument and the ritual context of the instruments. And I got lucky and got the opportunity to study with one of them to begin with, and many of them in the long term. This is a very complicated art form to master. You have to have a mentality that can absorb this and have the patience to try and fail and try again and fail and try and fail. There's lots and lots of effort and failure.
And this is what we go through when we practice. We feel each other out, we make mistakes, we get back on track, and actually making mistakes and getting back on track. That's an important component about when you play in the ceremony.
Even outside the ritual context, when everything's clicking, there's like a force. There's sensuality, there's passion, there's serenity. There's also a connection, as I understand it now, that goes through generations and generations and generations and generations way, way back.
One of the things about this culture is the reverence that we give to our ancestors. We do give reverence to the Almighty, and we do give reverence to the forces of nature which are manifested, through the deities. But just as important is we thank our ancestors for everything they have done. As much as I like the religious aspect, I love dance classes. When you're drumming, either secular or religious, and everybody's clicking and everybody understands what they're supposed to do, whether they're singers, dancers, or drummers. When people let their guard down and say, okay, let's enjoy this. Let's contribute to each other's happiness. It just feels good. The religion as we know it was a source of survival and a source of strength and a source of hope. For it to survive the way it is and for it to be here today, and for us to be talking about it this way, wanting to expose it to other people so they can enjoy the beauty of it. I won't say it's a miracle. It's a testament of God's grace.